Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Elder Scrolls 6 discussion here on FudgeMuppet. My name is Scott, and today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the Morag Tong making a return in Elder Scrolls 6. We know in the Dragonborn DLC the Morag Tong were featured, and this little taste left us wanting more for Elder Scrolls 6. This also plays off our desire to have more factions in general. You'd have two assassin guilds, the Dark Brotherhood and the Morag Tong. They would be opposed to each other, making characters have more decisions than just which class they will be. What I mean by this is instead of mages picking the magic-based guild and assassins picking the assassin guild, players would have to choose between guilds that both suit their own ideals and their playstyle. This extra choice would help create heaps more replayability, but anyways, back on topic, the Morag Tong. The presence of the Morag Tong in Elder Scrolls 6 also doesn't heavily depend on the location of the game. The Thieves Guild member named Raven Imien in Skyrim states that the Morag Tong dissolved after the eruption of Red Mountain, but also they made a pact to reunite somewhere in Tamriel. In Elder Scrolls 6 there's definitely a possibility that they have rebuilt. If the game is set in, say, Hammerfell, you could imagine their cloaky outfits looking perfect in the desert. By having two assassin guilds it would also facilitate role-playing. The Dark Brotherhood as well. Dark. Guild members revel in death, killing, and iniquitous laughter. The Morag Tong, on the other hand, would provide a different type of atmosphere, something without that sickly serial killer murderous theme that the Dark Brotherhood has. This means that not every character who wants to kill for money has to dress up in studded red and black leather and kill things in the name of the Night Mother. The Morag Tong follow Mephala, and having them return as a joinable guild in Elder Scrolls 6 would be the perfect opportunity to explore the organization and Mephala herself in more depth. It will be a very unique experience, similar to how we've explored Hermaeus Mora in the Dragonborn DLC and Sheogorath in the Shivering Isles. Perhaps you could even visit her realm, the Spiral Skane. Mephala's Plane of Oblivion sounds really interesting. Hear this little excerpt from the wiki. It is metaphysically constructed in a similar manner to Nirn's Wheel. At the center is the tower, known only as the Pillar Palace of Mephala, since its true name is too awful to be uttered. The spokes are called the 8 Stands of Skane, and the spaces in between are each devoted to a different sin. The first is a cavern devoted to lies, filled with pedestals, pretending to hold up the sky. The second is made up of cramped chambers representing envy, while the third is maggot-filled grottos filled with seductive light. The fourth contains eternally dark tunnels of fear, the fifth, a place of betrayal, the sixth, an arena of murder, and the seventh space is home to arcades of avarice and appetite, containing all things mortals would kill or die for, while the eighth is a flaming skein of fury, representing the death that comes to all mortals. This sounds like an awesome place to explore. Imagine getting orders from Mephala in person as a trusted member of the Morag Tong. Something else awesome about the Morag Tong is their traditional Dunmer Style. This would also work in with how we want more cultural attire and weapons in the game. No matter where the game is set, having the Morag Tong in the area would give characters the options to have unique Dark Elf style weapons, all your chitin armors and so on, not to mention all the different wraps and cloaks. This guild would also offer very unique companions and most likely be in conflict with the Dark Brotherhood, which we think would survive in the canon. They're just too popular to be killed off. Conflict between the Dark Brotherhood and the Morag Tong would leave the fate of the guilds in the hands of the player and provide for some interesting quests. Perhaps some quests have both guilds send assassins after the same target, meaning you'll not only have to avoid crowds and enemy detection, but also watch your back for another assassin trying to take you out and steal your kill. And that's all for now, folks, so subscribe to get your dose of Elder Scrolls 6 discussion next Friday. Michael and I both hope you enjoyed this video, and be sure to check the description to find our social media pages and the link to get your hands on an Elder Scrolls FudgeMuppet mousepad. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all soon.